We're very fortunate. We had a wonderful time in our life. I became a dad 18 months ago. Thank you very much. He's actually 9 years old, but I've only just started getting involved. The hard work's done. I'll step in now, I think. No, he's a baby. He's a wonderful boy. It's stressful, very stressful. Not for me, for my little boy. Very stressful being a baby. His socks just fall off all day. Just start the day, you look down, his socks are off again. Imagine if you were going through that as adults. Your mental health would be in the gutter if you were going through that. I'm amazed that it's more baby's first words when they learn to speak, not mum or dada. What the fuck's going on with these socks? Seriously. Mad being a baby. My little boy, he's 18 months old. He's got 3 xylophones. Why would anybody need 3 xylophones? There's professional xylophone players with less xylophones than this kid. I said to my wife, I said, why has he got 3 xylophones? She goes, oh, he likes to play one in the bath. That's some kind of eccentric billionaire. What is going on here? I'm enjoying being a dad. It's changed my whole perspective, to be honest, being a dad. Like, growing up, I used to think that I had an angry dad. Growing up, I always thought I had an angry dad. And now I'm a dad, and I'm like, oh, no. We just pushed a very reasonable man to breaking point. Just a lovely guy. I think being a parent is a lot like eating a pomegranate. Like, there's really nice little bits, but ultimately, I'm not sure it's worth it. It's really hard. People give you mad advice as well when you have a kid. My little boy, actually, he's about a week old. I was holding him. And my mum, actually, she said, Josh, just think, that little boy you're holding there could go on to be anything he wants to be. He could be a top doctor, a politician, an astronaut. I was like, wow, that's incredible. But also, I wouldn't have thought so. An astronaut, from me to an astronaut in one generation. That's a hell of a leap. I went to the pub the other day. It was a push door. I was pulling it. I thought the pub was closed. I just went home. I could see people inside. Well, how have they got in there? What's going on? NASA are not knocking down my door. I don't think he'll be a politician either, because he's going to go to the same shit school in the Midlands that I went to. And politicians, they all go to the posh schools, don't they? And people don't like that. They say, politicians, they all go to the posh schools. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I don't think you'd want anybody from my school being in charge of the country. Maybe this is very progressive, but I think if you learn maths in a porter cabin, don't get involved in government. I don't know. If you learn about history by watching Blackadder on a wheeled-in TV, stay out of it.
I'm the sort of person who'll spend their wages like their winnings. You know what I mean? Get all excited. I just get so excited. First half of the month, I'm getting my nails done, champagne brunches, buying a second-hand jet ski I found online. But I forget about the second half of the month. We all do, don't we? And it's bleak, innit? Isn't it bleak? Just indoors, watching telly, eating beans, on a jet ski. It's... embarrass myself, I do. I love it. I love shopping. I love it. People save money a lot. They're not me. I love shopping. It's the pop-up ads. They know me. They know me. I don't even resent it. Oversized smock midi dress with pockets. Yes, please. I'll have another one of them. Thank you, algorithms. Love it. Thank you. Because they're all watching us, innit? They're all watching what we're doing, listening to what we're doing. People don't like it. I don't mind it. I use it to my advantage. I'm like, I need a shed at the minute. I'm like 6x4, pre-treated timber. Works every time, but people get paranoid. Don't ever like to get paranoid. Like my mum, paranoid. My mum is paranoid. She won't have a smartphone, not a computer in her house, nothing. She's like, they're watching you, Lord. I said, it don't matter, does it, Mum? I said, it don't matter if you ain't got anything to hide. Do you know what my 73-year-old mother said to that? I have. I thought, right, slow down, top girl, say nothing. Nutter. She's right, of course she's right. You had to do what you had to do to get through lockdown, that's what I say. Do you know what I mean? People were stockpiling. I've got 3 kids. There was no such thing as stockpiling with 3 kids, let me tell you that. Every other day I was going out for more Jack Daniels. I don't know. It's got to be done though, innit? I just know what it is. Now we've all got all our freedoms, I'm worried about myself because I feel like nothing's actually as fun as you think it's going to be. Maybe it's me. There's a lot of stuff I don't get, like Briain and tapas. Maybe it is me. But I feel like other people are pretending to have fun. Do you know what I mean? Spa days. Do you like spa day? I don't think you do. Brunches. Girls, how have we signed up to 50 quid brunches? How has that become a thing, a standard? When did that happen? Not even birthdays. It's mad. I'd rather get drunk with my own scrambled eggs. Do you know what I mean? Holidays? You bothered about a holiday? No, I'm not. Again, I think you like the idea of a holiday. Do you know what I mean? I like looking for them, booking them, actually doing them. Hard work, I think. It's true though, isn't it? Do you know what? I think I would genuinely rather be hospitalised. Can you imagine? Food, drink, drugs brought straight to your bed. That costs hundreds in Ibiza, hundreds. I'd start clapping for the NHS again, I would. I love it.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's too expensive to be dating right now in this economy, man. All my go-to moves for dating, I can't even afford them no more. I'm pissed off, you know? I used to do the Netflix and chill. That was my go-to move, but that subscription is too much right now. I can't afford it, okay? If I had to downsize, I tell girls, baby, we're gonna have to Wikipedia and chill. That's my new move right now. That's where we read the plot of the movie by candlelight. Take it or leave it. Also, bring your phone. We're using your data, by the way. You better be on gift app. As you go, you gotta go. Those are the rules, you know. There's consequences to that, though. I had a girl break up with me just because I didn't have money, and she got a new boyfriend. He's a nice guy, I know, because I stalk him online sometimes. He's a really nice man. Treats my girl really well, he really does. He buys her expensive handbags and things like that, and that's when I realized I can't compete, man. I can't compete with that. I never even bought this girl a bag for life, not one time. That's cheap. I'll be in Tesco like, baby, you better put that cheese in your pocket. We're not spending that 50p right there. These gold diggers want my plastic bags. They can't have them. That's my bag right there. I'm not a big fan of social media, man. I'm really not. Because I feel like with social media, when you break up with somebody, you can see what they're up to online. I don't like that. I prefer in the past where you broke up with somebody, you could just lie to yourself and pretend that they were still unhappy. That was a good era. I like that. You just lying to yourself. You be like, man, she probably missing me all the time. She probably sad, you know. Now you just go on her Instagram and you're like, oh no, she 100% made the right decision. Good for her, man. I haven't seen her smile like this in years, in fact. She's thriving. She got 3 bags for life in one photo. She leveled up for real, bet. Congratulations to you, baby, you know. Do you know, when it comes to dating, I feel like the most important thing is finding somebody that you're compatible with, someone you have that connection with. For example, I used to date this girl, me and her got on really well, but there was a problem, and that was she liked dogs, right? Don't get me wrong, I like dogs too, but she liked dogs too much, you know? She liked dogs too much. She used to kiss her dog. That was weird, you know? I don't even know what was weirder. Was it the fact that she would kiss her dog, or the fact that when she did, the dog would make eye contact with me the whole time? That's a weird power play. I said, this dog is an alpha. I don't feel safe in this relationship. This is a toxic masculinity dog right here. I gotta go. I caught that dog listening to Andrew Tate. I said, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. I've been reading up about that. That's the new thing, toxic masculinity, man. You know, I keep hearing women say men are trash. You know, I don't think anybody's asking the important questions. Are they recyclable? I feel like that's the kind of stuff we gotta ask. Can we make this toxicity carbon neutral? Maybe, I don't know, you know. I like to think I'm a good guy, but even as a good guy, I make small mistakes sometimes, innocent mistakes. You ever been in that situation as a man, a really awkward situation, you're walking home late at night and there's a woman in front of you and it's dark and there's a lot of tension in the air. You can feel the tension, right? Obviously, I can understand why the woman's feeling tense, but I'm feeling tense too, okay? I'm a good guy, I just want that woman to relax, we both go about our day. But apparently, it makes it worse in that situation if you shout out, "I'm not gonna hurt you!" Like that makes the situation more tense. Sometimes they run faster when you do that. Don't do that, guys. Don't jump out of bush and do that. Women don't like that, okay? One time I was walking behind this woman late at night. I know it sounds like there's a pattern emerging. I'm not doing this on purpose. I just woke off the night bus at the same time. It's unfortunate, you know. But I'm walking behind this woman. I was like, I don't want to make the same mistake from last time, shout something out, do something dumb. So I thought it'd be a good idea if I did something non-verbal to help put the woman at ease, okay? I thought it'd be a good idea if I started whistling at night because I thought that would make the atmosphere more jovial. No, it doesn't. Makes it way creepier to my surprise, actually. Especially if you're like me and you don't even know how to whistle properly. So then you're just a guy who's blowing in the wind in the dark real slow, like... Look like a creepy dinosaur, you can't do that.
They know their wildlife over there in Australia, unbelievable. They have koala bears over there. They've so many of them, they've actually trained them to work in the cities. And get your guess, right? What job do you think koala bears do in Sydney at the moment? What job are they trained to do? Give me a guess. What's that?
To be bears.
To be bears. They're kind of, doesn't take much training, Tracy, to be honest. Given that it's already a bear, it really, unless you want to be a different kind, you're no koala, you're a grizzly, get out there, go on, get out there, koala. Give me another guess, what do they train them to do? Koala bears. Cuddle is glorious, what a beautiful idea. They train them to work as professional cuddles. That's a fabulous idea. All over Sydney, there'll just be podiums sitting there with a koala on it, and you can walk up and go, I'm a bit down at the moment. And the koala will go, come here, come here. All right, now you shouldn't have now. Thanks very much. Brilliant suggestion. Give me one more suggestion. As phone sex operators. They train the koalas to work as phone sex, not actually just as operators, not actually to do the thing, but to go, I'll push it through now. So, well, you sound like you need a bit of loving, do you? Well, there's a very strict woman on line 4. I'll give it that to her, right? Because koalas are very good at that kind of notion, like that. Or is it actually to talk to the customers? Oh, do you want to see what I'm wearing? I'm all furry and exciting, right? I'm the furriest little koala you've ever seen. I'm slipping out of the fur at the moment. Look at that. Do you like that? That's kind of sick. That's weird. What they actually train, the job they actually train koala bears to do in Sydney is to work as bicycle locks. You take the koala, you put him in the frame of the bicycle, his little hands reach around through the spokes of the wheel, and then he just holds on to the bicycle like that. The finest answer I ever received, though, was in a university in Dublin, and I said, what job do they train them to do? And a student there went, is it guides for the blind? And I said, well, surely they'd use dogs for that. And she said, not for walking, for climbing. It's a glorious notion. The dog would walk the blind person to the foot of the tree, at which point control would be handed over to the koala bear, who would then walk the blind person up past difficult clumps of branches and whatnot, till they got to the top, where presumably it would then describe the view to the blind person.
Something. Thank you. Thank you. I'll tell you what I saw the other day. This upset me, and I'm a pretty easygoing guy. You know what I saw? I saw an ambulance. Big sign on the back of the ambulance, on the back door. Do you know what it said? It said, this is an ambulance, not a taxi. This is an ambulance, not a taxi. I know, I can see. Don't worry. I can tell. I know it's not a taxi. You know how I know it's not a taxi? Because last time I called a taxi, it didn't take 3/4 of a fucking hour to arrive. That's how I know. While I'm on the subject, can I just ask, is it really strictly necessary in this day and age to have the word ambulance written back to front on the bonnet of the ambulance?
No, so if you see it in the rearview mirror, it says that. I know why.
I know why. I'm just questioning it. See, my point is, if the blue flashing light and the big red cross hasn't done it for you, just a hunch, but I suspect the word ambulance is going to be lost on you as well. So I'd like to know if there had ever been anyone in the history of the automobile who was driving along, looks in their rearview mirror and goes, huh, what the heck's this? Who's this joker with his blue flashing light and big red cross behind me? Well, he's not getting past me. What does this say? Eculumbo? What does the hell that mean? Not getting out of his way. There's some pushy Danish furniture company behind me trying to get past me. You gotta watch it. You gotta. They're all at it. I saw a fire engine. Big sign on the back of the fire engine. You know what it said? It said, "Smoke alarms save lives." I thought, yeah, more like save you the bother of getting out of bed to put the fires out, you lazy bastards. You gotta watch it. AA vans. Well, Britain's 4th emergency service. You know, only in this country could coming forth be a boast. 4th, you say, my God, runner up to bronze. All the fun of taking part, none of the hassle of hanging around for a medal. Mountain Rescue, they're grumpy bastards, aren't they? So you helped me down from a hill. You have no right to criticize my footwear. I was wearing flip-flops that felt like a walk. Volunteer service, you see, Jack. Yeah, and don't you keep banging on about it. Listen, pal, you wanted to rescue people, I wanted rescuing. We both got what we wanted, so shut your face.
We have a great show for you tonight. We have a fantastic show. Very funny comedians. I know funny. Very funny. People always ask me who I think is funny. That's the number 2 question I get asked as a comedian. The number 1 question I get asked as a comedian is, have you ever died? As soon as you tell someone you're a comedian, first thing they want to know, oh, you ever died? Oh, what's it like when no one laughs? Oh, tell us about the worst gig you've ever had in your life. Please, relive for me, in minute detail, the worst moment of your professional career. Have you ever really died? It's like saying to a doctor, tell us about the last patient you lost. What happened? With the family crying. I bet they were they? Yeah. People are such ghouls. It's the number 1 question. Have you ever died? Number 2 question, though, is what makes you laugh? People always want to know that from me. Who do you think is funny? And that's a nicer question. That's more understandable. You know, I make people laugh. People want to know what makes me laugh. In the same ways you might say to your hairdresser, who cuts your hair? Or you might say to someone in an Audi, who do you think drives like a cock? Same thing. I like that joke. It's a short joke. It's a sharp joke. And also with that joke, I get to spot every Audi driver in the room. I can just see it there. Pinched expression on your face there. All right, no need to be like that about it. I've done well for myself. It's a very reliable machine. And the fact that I can tell you're an Audi driver by the expression on your face means technically you've just given a form of indication. So well done. Good for you. Who knew you could do it? Yeah. Have you ever died? Who do you think is funny? You always get asked the same questions. That's why I don't like doing interviews. I love doing this job. This is great. I love standing here talking to you, though. But doing interviews, it's a necessary evil. It's part of the job. I having to answer questions. And I don't even like watching interviews. You'd rather watch a comedian tell jokes than talk about how they wrote them. You'd rather watch a singer sing songs than talk about their inspiration. You'd rather watch a sports person do their sport. You'd certainly rather watch a sports person do their sport. Come on now. Sports interviews can be turgid affairs at best. And then I hit it with my foot. You mean you kicked it? If you like. They're really interesting. And I'm not slacking sports people. It takes a great deal of single-mindedness to excel at a sport to a point where people want to interview you about it. But sports people are famous because they're good at sport, not because they're good at talking about sport. That's why you find a sports person who is good at talking about sport, the BBC will cream their knickers over them. We found a woman. She used to ride horses. That's a sport. And she's quite lively and engaging and charismatic. Put her on absolutely everything! Do not let her out of your sight. Even people I'm a fan of. Andy Murray. I love Andy Murray. Britain should be very proud of Andy Murray. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. And he put up with a lot of shit when he was thinking, what, 8th best in the world? Oh, you bloody loser, you. He's done a lot to be proud of. He's won Wimbledon. He's Olympic gold medalist. He's magnanimous in victory. He's humble in defeat. And he's a big comedy fan. He's been to see me live. I've met him. Lovely bloke. But Jesus Christ. I cannot listen to him drone on one more time about how he won, stroke lost another tennis match. I can't do it. So then I hit it to him, and he hit it back to me, and I'm very good at tennis, but he is also very good at tennis. Some days I'm better at tennis than he is, but I think what's happened today was he was slightly better at tennis than I am, and that's maybe why he won the game of the tennis. Oh, for God's sake, man! I'm not very sporty, you can probably tell. I like hill walking. Doesn't really count as a sport. I like hill walking and camping. Proper camping, though. None of your glamping bullshit. Glamping. Derivation of the words glamorous and camping, where you stay in a yurt, which is more expensive than a hotel. What is wrong with you? A lot of people don't realise yurt is a derivation of the words yura and twat. A lot of people don't realise.
If you know anybody who works for WhatsApp, just tell them to let us delete the message entirely, like it was never sent. Don't delete the message, but still write, Neil has deleted the message. Like a little telltale informer. So that your friend still texts you and goes, what was in that message that you deleted it? You know when it says delete for me or delete for everyone? Who picks? Just for me, and just go and delete it for me, yeah? Yeah, still want them to see the awful stuff I've written, but I don't want to be reminded of how much of a dick I can actually be, yeah. It's like getting a tattoo removed and walking into the laser place going, what are my options for tattoo removal? You got 2 options. First option, we shine a laser on your leg, remove the tattoo so no one will see the tattoo. What is my second option? We shine a laser in your eyes so you won't see the tattoo. I'll go for option number 2, please. Thank you very much. I bought a new phone. I fell for the ad. You can put the phone on somebody else's phone and you can wirelessly transfer the charge. And the company thinks people are going to use that. No one's going to use that. Your charge is the single most important thing in your life. Look at your friends. They would prefer to donate a kidney to a stranger than to give you 5% of their mobile phone charge. You ever been abroad? Yeah? You ever been abroad? You bring one adapter, one charger between you and your spouse. The UN level of negotiation involved in getting the charger back from the person you love. Can I have the adapter, love? Can I have the charger? Can I have the adapter? Can I have the adapter? And they hit you with it. Absolutely, Neil. But what battery percentage do you have? And you look at the person you've chosen to spend the rest of your life with and you lie like a mofo, don't you? 3%, 2%, 0.5%. I've never even seen 0.5% in the mobile phone before, to be honest with you. Show me your phone, I'll plug it in for you. I can't show you my phone. Why can't you? I'm having an affair. How the hell having an affair? Show me your phone! We'll be in Spain. My wife will go and have a shower before we go out. She'll leave the bathroom door open and the shower door open. That is not an invitation to join her. You'll make that mistake once in your life, let me tell you that. It's because she doesn't trust you to not unplug her phone and plug your phone in. And she's right, because that's exactly what you do, isn't it? You plug her phone back in towards the end, so you got plausible deniability. You plug out my phone. I did not plug out your phone. It went up by 2% after a half an hour shower. That is because Spanish electricity is different. You plugged it in during the siesta and the wires were asleep. That's how it works here. If I talk to you in the front row, hope you know I'm just messing. You get great answers. I said, a farmer at a gig once. I said, what do you do? He goes, I'm a sheep farmer. I said, I read recently sheep can recognise individual human faces. He went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be okay. I had a South African man at a gig in Dublin once. I said, where are you from? Big blonde guy. He goes, Cape Town. I said, Cape Town is beautiful and warm and sunny. How did you end up in Dublin? He went, I got in the wrong container. The Irish guy, lovely fella, big guy, you know. Apparently we're going to be the most overweight country in Europe in a few years. And they tell us this like it's bad news. Oh, it's a catastrophe, it's a disaster. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. Only 180 years after the worst famine in Western Europe. I call that a comeback, ladies and gentlemen. No one else has bounced back like we have. Those people in Pompeii just died. If they were Irish, they'd be selling lava lamps by now.
All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names, it's a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Stacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. Could end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. Sort of like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
But we've moved now. We've moved to a place called Pinner. We only moved to Pinner because the estate agent said to us, he said, oh, Pinner is a lovely part of West London. West London. We get Welsh telly. It's not London. It's not London, but it is very nice. One of the things I like about where we live is it's very multicultural. I think that's one of the brilliant things about London. I think multiculturalism is something we really have to fight for. Like the school my kids go to, it was very easy to pick a school for my kids because obviously we just picked the one with the highest ceilings. But the school they go to, it's a really nice school and it's very diverse. Like we have a mum's night out once a month and all the mums from the school go and there are women there from every economic background, every race, every religion, and we have a fantastic time and the Muslim mums drive us home. Tell you what, it is nice. I had an incident the other day, though. I was walking down the street near where I live, and it was one of those sunny days, one of those days that remind some van drivers that women have breasts. You know, one of those. And I was walking down the street, and there was a van drove up and slowed down, and two guys leaned out of the van, and they were in classic kind of leching position. And I knew they weren't going to be looking at me because I am 44 years old. And in fact, my older friends, when I was turning 40, they said, oh, being over 40, it makes you invisible, right? And I have found, yes, that is true, but the brilliant thing is it mostly makes you invisible to dickheads. So it's not really a problem, it's a superpower, if anything. So I'm walking down the street, these two guys are leaning out of this van, and I see they're leching, but they're looking past me at a younger woman, a woman in her 20s, who is walking alongside me. And these guys do the classic thing. They lean out of the van and they gave this woman a very detailed appraisal of her anatomy. You know, they covered all the main areas in bullet-pointed form, very thorough. And then they went on to suggest what I can only describe as a smorgasbord of activities they felt they would enjoy indulging in with her were they not under pressure of time to get to the next plumbing job. So they did all this and they drove off. And naturally, I turned to this woman and I said, oh my gosh, are you okay? That was horrific. And she said, no, I'm fine. It happens all the time. And I thought, yeah, it does when you're in your 20s, doesn't it? And we were chatting about how silly it was as we walked down the street. And then we got further down the road and the traffic had slowed down and this van had come to a stop. And I think a few years ago I would have just left it, said nothing. But this year I thought, you know what, if I'm going to be invisible, you know who else is invisible? Ninjas. I am going to be a bloody middle-aged ninja. I'm going to strike, right? So I went up to the van and I just leaned in and I said, oh, hi, guys. Listen, sorry to bother you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for what you did back there because my son here has been undergoing a very difficult gender reassignment. He's been worried that it's not going that well, but what you did back there really made him feel like a proper woman. Thank you. I was delighted with myself as well. But what was really special was that then the young woman next to me leaned in beside me and in the deepest voice I've ever heard just went, yeah, thanks, guys. It was a beautiful moment. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. The only thing that could have made it perfect would have been if the guys in the van had said, actually, if your child is undergoing a gender reassignment, it's incredibly insensitive of you still to be referring to her using the male pronoun. Which, they didn't do that. They just called us slags.
I started learning French really young at the age of 8 or something in primary school, and our French teacher, to help it sink in our brains, used to play little games with us. And one of the games was that we had to draw a name out of the hat, and that would be our French name for the rest of term, yeah? So I withdrew Marcel, and she taught me that if anyone ever asked the question, comment tu t'appelles, my response should be, je m'appelle Marcel, right? Now, I got all the way to degree level and 2 trips to Paris with that knowledge, and no one ever corrected me. And I went in on my first day of the lecture, and the professor goes, bonjour, comment tu t'appelles? I thought, well, this is going to be a very easy course. I went, bonjour, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? And I went, what is wrong with you? You said you were French. I went, je m'appelle Marcel. He's like, no, comment tu t'appelles? What is your name? I was like, je m'appelle Marcel. My name is Stephen. educated. And as part of our course, yeah, we had to do a year abroad. Hold on. Gap year. We did, Jimmy. We had to do a year abroad, right? So I moved to the south of France for a year, and I'm dating myself with this reference, I do know. But I thought it would be like a Hilary Duff film, right? Do you know where I'd like move to the south of France, get a job in a little boulangerie, fall in love, move into the guy's chateau, and never have to come and perform in Hammersmith? Do you know what I mean? And me and my friends all had a bit of a dream. Like my friend Kate, she's married to a guy now called Florent and lives in Nice. That was my dream, bitch. My friend Sam got with a guy while we were there, and his name was Nicolas. And I even got with a guy while we were there for one term, and his name was Kevin. It wasn't even Kevin. I went all the way to the south of France and found the only guy from Stockport. Just called me Sally Webster. And the thing I hated the most about doing that year abroad was I don't like flying. Give me a cheer if you like flying. Give me a cheer if you don't like it. Yeah, all the ones sat in the sky. I really hate it, yeah, because everyone's like it's the safest form of transport, but that's not true, is it? Because speak to someone that's been in a crash. And that is valid. That is really valid. And I've had to find my way of getting round it. You need hints, tricks, don't you? So my therapist said you just need to sit on the plane doing this. I get thrown off the plane if I do that, Julie. And the way I've been trying to get round it, hear me out, you're going to think I'm mad, right? Do you know sometimes when you look at someone and you think, like Aaron, I look at you and I go, you would never die in a plane crash. You've got that kind of face, you know, it's like, you're not going to go that way. Whereas some people, they've got that face where it's like, have you already been in one? And I flew to Dublin this year, and it was the best flight I'd ever had, right? Because I found someone like you, Aaron. I found someone. Peter Barlow from Coronation Street was on the flight, and I thought, Peter Barlow's not going to die in a Ryanair flight. He's already been through too much.
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra, it had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course you love your kids and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say? Small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I have to learn what you guys do here. And the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
We do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks. I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Dai, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Makes sense. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger, some of you older, all right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in, and they were like, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right, they go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right? Feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right? What's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're going to be here for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say, right? My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some. I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
They say it's hard, you know, bringing kids up is difficult. They say kids these days are influenced by these new hyper-violent computer games. And that's nuts, isn't it? If we'd been influenced by the computer games from our childhood, we'd have to go around going like, beep, beep. Rubbish, wouldn't it? No one would play with that kid with beep, beep. Can I be in your gang? No, you're a bit weird, mate, to be honest. Imagine being influenced by Pacman. You'd have to like walk round in a darkened room munching pills and listening to repetitive music. The younger people laughing and clapping, the older ones going, who is this Pacman you speak of? It's not one of the rough boys from the estate, is he? There were some rough kids where I live, and they're not being rough, they're just being confusing. You know, you come out of your house, they go, yeah, your mum makes gravy for leopards, innit? Yes, I believe she does. She does a lot of charity work. These are scary kids. Even the dirty old men are scared of these kids. See him turn up in their car, put the window down, like, hello, little boy, do you want a sweet? The kid's like, what sort of sweets have you got? Said it best be good if you come under here and trouble me with your sweetie talk, right? You don't want any mojo or drumstick rubbish, you get me? You must have a serious sweetie offer for me, boy. Blokes panic. I was like, well, I've got bonbons. I wasn't sure what to bring, to be honest. Dib-dab there, and a wamba. Wamba, your sweets are rubbish, man. Shut up. No. Wambas used to be big like that. Now they're small, innit? So you're going to have to do better than a wamba if you want to see my dick, right? Hey, man, look at your car driving a Saab. You got no pride. Get out, you wamba, bitch. Next pervert, please. How many sweets have you got, Sweaty? What do you mean, Neverland? Yeah. But we live in exciting times anyway, you know. It's very exciting being in London, you know. The Olympics. Fantastic. We didn't really want the Olympics till we heard France might get it. British people are, oh no, all that running and jumping. It's not really for us, is it? When is it? No, I'm busy that week. What? France are going to get it? Bollocks, we'll have it. Only in London would we have to have a poster campaign saying back the bid. No, fuck off, it'll be rubbish. Don't you think that's a bizarre response to that question? Like, would you like the oldest, most historically significant athletic competition the world has ever known, attracting athletes from every known nation on the face of the planet to come here and perform at the peak of their abilities in the very city where you live? Most British people go, where will we park? You know, because it's all residents round here. There's others going, no, man, the tubes will be packed, you get me? People getting on the underground with, like, javelins and shit. Coming in an escalator with a shot put, health and safety, boy. And there's a whole other section of British society going, you what? The Olympics? Let a load of foreigners in? Huh? Ones who can run and jump and swim, you let them in, you'll never fucking catch them. Huh? Place to be overrun with Lycra refugees. You're having a laugh, ain't you, mate? They'll peel them little numbers off their jackets. You watch them, they're sneaky. I read about it in the Mail.
My girlfriend said to me, have you been having sex behind my back? I said, who the fucking hell do you think it was? And another thing, it wouldn't kill you to look round once in a while, check how I'm doing. Well, I'm Jimmy Carr, and we've got Alan Carr on the show later on. How about that? keep on getting mistaken for Alan Carr, so what I've done is I've stopped sucking men off. Don't get the wrong idea. You know, I'm a very gay-friendly act. I was asked last year to judge Mr. Gay UK. I said, no problem at all. He's against nature and against God, and he's going to hell. Right, who have we got in the audience this evening? We've got Nikki Hamilton-Jones is in. Hello. I've seen your show. Yours is the one where you get ladies naked and then they cry. We've all been there. For me, that's a very successful Friday night out. Have we got James Morrison? Is James Morrison in the house? Where's he? Can't believe it. Hello, James. How are you? An amazing musician, especially if you find James Blunt a bit rocky. You Give Me Something's an amazing song. You Give Me Something is my favourite song ever about chlamydia. My favourite. I love it. Dean Macy's here. Where's Dean Macy? Dean Macy? You're our hope for Beijing, aren't you, in the decathlon? I love the decathlon. You know, it's where you do 10 different things, isn't it? Sort of jack of all trades, master of none. If you don't mind me saying. The 2012 Olympics is going to cost £8 billion, which is, you know, a lot of money. It's probably going to bankrupt London, but you can't put a price on 2 bronze medals in cycling. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, the highest speed ever achieved on a bicycle was done by a British man, 166 miles per hour on a bike. It was recorded at a level crossing. £8 billion is a lot of money. I mean, for that kind of money, we could have another 3 weeks in Iraq. I don't have a stalker, but I do have a woman that sends me pants in the post. Thanks, Mum. People ask me how I relax, so I tell them. I put Smarties tubes onto cats' legs to make them walk like a robot. If I'm really stressed, I make them go down the stairs. It's adorable, they look so confused. I realise some of you will be worried about the cat. Don't worry about the cat. If it's hurt, if it breaks its leg, it's already got a splint on. I should warn you, don't kick off this evening. I'm middle class, but I'm hard. Al dente, you might say. If you got the al dente reference, you're middle class too. Well done. I've got quite a posh voice, though. Would you agree with that, Hammersmith? Yeah. It's quite a posh voice, but we've all got a phone voice. Mine's quite breathy. I quite like those phone sex lines. I like them because they're the only place in the world where premature ejaculation is an advantage. I once came in under 75 pence.
While I was in our inner city fraternity, it was a long time ago and the slangs have changed. There were so many colloquialisms for dispossessing people of their personal effects without their consent. Yes, I was in the property reacquisition sector of our organization. And every now and then I dabbled in some urban pharmacy. Yeah. I'm Nigerian, so I also tried out some freestyle accounting. No, like I was saying, obviously, there was loads of slangs for robbing people in it. But the most popular slang at the time in South was suck. Yeah, you can imagine when I found out, I was in the park with the man then. And our leader, Gasman, I mean, you can't be out here robbing people with a name like Charles. So Gasman it was. Gasman was a very serious fellow. He said, and I quote, he spotted some ops. That means opposition. He said, yo, man them. And then we assembled and formed Mandematron. Say, yo, you see them ops there, cuz you see them ops? We're like, yeah, blood, man sees them, man sees them. We see them, blood, we see them, blood. Said, yeah, can't we go suck those boys for their shoes? And the rest of them were getting up like, yeah, I'm on this thing. I'm like, wait, no. My brother, no. I need to see the small print. I said, excuse me, Mr. Can I call you Mr. Gasman? Now, if for the life of me, I could have sworn you just instructed us to, said, yeah, blood, you heard, man. That's the motive today. That's the prime objective. Today, we're sucking man blood, yeah? We suck man for their shoes, their watches, their chains, their cash. Anybody coming through that gate that's not in our gang is getting sucked. Mercilessly. I said, bro, I'm not involved. He said, either you suck man or man suck you. I said, whoa. Can we talk? I said, brother, why? Why, my brother? Why are you doing this? And he gets philosophical. He said, it's all I know. It's how I survive on the roads. I didn't choose to suck man. Sucking man chose man. I said, is this why you have a gang? He said, what? No, I don't need a gang to suck man. I suck 3-4 man by myself. Ask all them boys at the estate, I sucked all of them, bro. Listen, I even sucked this boy in front of his dad. In front of his dad, he said, yeah. I said, what did his dad do? He said, his dad didn't do nothing. Because he did one false move, he gets sucked too, rude boy. I said, my God, this man is prolific. He's a big man. I don't know fear, you know. I don't care how big a man is. How hard man is. I'll look man in the eye and suck man from, are you mad? I said to him, bro, you are broke. I am also broke. This is my last £5. Take it. Wallahi, you need it more than me. Foot Locker is still hiring up. In fact, do you want me to make your CV? We can go together. He said, no, I don't suck man for minimum wage. Man's got aspirations.
So the winter's drawing in. It's over. The summer was over. We never even had a summer. It was so depressing. Nothing happened, except there was a lot of rain, a great deal of rain. More rain ever since records began. Yes. Not that we have any idea what that means. There was this strange period in history with no records at all. People would leave their homes and go, it feels slightly different to yesterday. Is anybody writing this down? And then after a period of time, somebody said, enough's enough, I will write this down. I would like to announce that records have begun. That first day must have been quite a record-breaking day, don't you think? It's the hottest, wettest, windiest day since records began! This morning, I've only just started. I've said about the wind as well on the weather. Who cares about the wind? Could it be a stiff northeasterly breeze? I'm not sailing to work. I don't give a shit. People see that and go, I'll leave slightly later with the tailwind. I'll be there in half the time. Woo! Then the clocks are going to change. Nobody knows when the clocks are going to change. They change on a Saturday night. Nobody knows it's going to happen. Everybody the same every Saturday night, every year. They don't know which way or what's going on. You only find out about it late on Saturday night. You overhear somebody, excuse me, what was that? The clocks, they changed. When? Tonight? Oh! Darling, the clocks, which way? They go back! Is that the good one? How many years do we need to be alive before we know when they change and which way? An extra hour! Woohoo! The only thing we can look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, in this winter is snow. It's the only thing that gets us through, because the weather's terrible, but snow is the holy grail. Nothing beats snow. And normally, we get one day of snow, and you've got to hope that it snows overnight, so you can be snowed in. Earlier this year, it snowed in the middle of the day. You don't want that. I was waiting for my bus, and where I live, there's no tube. You have to wait for the bus. The buses actually originate there. The bus is already there. So it's even more frustrating. I'm waiting for the driver. We've got everything we need. We're looking for people. Can you drive this thing? And that's when the snow came. Amazing, instantly landing snow. The best of snow. I mean, the most unbelievable snow. And then I realized, oh my God, I could get snowed out. This is not what I need. The driver shows up.
And he says, ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you, due to the chaos on the roads, it's been snowing 8 seconds at this point. We're cancelling the bus. There will be no running of this service. And we're like, well, hang on a minute. We bought our tickets. What are we going to do? How are we supposed to get home? There's no way to get home. What are we going to do? And he said, don't shout at me. I actually live at the other end of this bus route. I take this bus home, and then I'm relieved by another driver. And we're like, this is a very interesting development. How are you going to get home? He said, well, there's only one thing to do. Walk. It's the only way we can get home. It's the only way at all. I'm like, fine, OK. So we walked the bus route, led by the driver. We came to the first stop. We had to tell the people waiting, there's no bus. And they joined our imaginary bus. It was getting bigger and bigger. I looked behind us, I could see the next imaginary bus. Not a bus, just people walking. And it was catching up fast, because no one to pick up from the stops. And the driver saw this as well, and he turned around. He said, when we get to the next stop, don't tell them anything. Keep walking, they can get on the next one. We're I thought this was one of the funniest things that ever happened to me. I said to the woman walking next to me, I said, this is hilarious. We're on an imaginary bus. There's a driver. There are old people walking. And this is funny, right? And I thought we were on the same wavelength. But now I remember I was doing most of the talking because she said, I'd love to chat, but this is my stop. She got down to an actual bus stop and then walked in the direction we had just come from.